At least 87 flights were delayed and 2 were canceled. All right, NBC News has learned some disturbing new details about a Pennsylvania State Police shooting of a teenager last December. Assistant District Attorney Michael Mancuso at a news conference in March said it was a case of suicide by cop. But his parents say video obtained by NBC News and Spotlight PA tells a very different story, and now they're suing. NBC's Vaughn Hilliard picks up the story from here, but we want to warn you, some viewers may find the video disturbing.
New video released showing Pennsylvania State Police fatally shooting a Chinese-American teenager who had his hands in the air holding a pellet gun when troopers opened fire. The videos recorded by the state police on December 30th, 2020, shows Christian Hall, who had been diagnosed with depression, standing on a ledge of a highway overpass in northeastern Pennsylvania when troopers arrived.
Can you step down and talk to us? You're not in any trouble. You're not in any trouble.
In the video, the troopers back away after seeing what they believed to be a gun in Hall's hands. It was later determined to be a realistic pellet gun. Authorities are then seen attempting to persuade Hall to step off the ledge, with Hall repeatedly ignoring their request to drop the gun for about 90 minutes. Troopers firing warning shots at the concrete barrier next to Hall.
Put it down.
The original video released by the Monroe County District Attorney blurs the final seconds of the encounter, obscuring Hall raising his hands in the air with the gun in one hand. The state police's initial press release said Hall pointed the gun at officers before they fired. But the new video, obtained by Spotlight PA and NBC News via the Hall family lawyer's subpoena, shows Hall kept his hands above his head for 14 seconds in all, including when the 2 troopers fired at him.
Wow, that was Vaughn Hilliard reporting on that. Thank you to Vaughn. The Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner declined an interview request by NBC News. A spokesperson said the department could not comment on pending litigation. To talk more about this, we want to welcome Christian's parents, Gareth and Faye Hall, and joining the Halls, their attorneys, Ben Crump and Devin Jacob. Mr. and Mrs. Hall, I am so incredibly sorry for your loss. I can't imagine what it's like to have to watch that video over and over again. How are you doing?
Not well. Not well at all. And having to watch that just now was a bit much.
I haven't watched that video, and I don't want to see my son's last moments.
I'm so sorry for the pain that you're dealing with. Gareth, how did you learn about the death of your son?
We were called to the barracks, and they made us wait for close to 45 minutes before anyone came out to speak to us. And when they did, 6 troopers came out and told us that there was an altercation at the bridge, and my son, at first, the trooper said he had a gun, and then he quickly backed up and said, well, he had what appeared to be a gun, and the officers opened fire on him, and he did not make it. And all I could ask was, you're telling me you killed my son? That was extremely traumatic.
Faye, why was your son at that bridge that day?
We don't know. What we know is he broke up with his girlfriend, and he was very distraught about that. He was depressed about being at home all the time. This was at the height of COVID, where we couldn't visit his family. He couldn't hang out with his friends. You know, he was just depressed.
And Christian dealt with some mental difficulties. didn't he, guys? He had some tough stuff he had been through since his childhood.
Yes, he did.
Well, can you talk to me a little bit about that?
He had what's known as reactive attachment disorder, which is fairly common amongst adopted children, especially those who did not receive adequate care in the early stages of their development. Christian was abandoned on the steps of a hospital in China at the age of 1 day old. The orphanage where he was, we saw the room where they kept the babies, and honestly, it looked like a puppy kennel. There were stainless steel cribs all shoved right up against each other with just enough room for the caretakers to go down the lines and offer to give the kids milk. And they had to actually feed themselves. That was Christian's first year. We actually, he came to us within a week of his first birthday.
Wow. That must have been quite a moment. That must have been quite a moment for the two of you, knowing what he had been through and then finally meeting his mom and dad. Go ahead, Faye.
When we first got him, we noticed that one side of his head is flat and it has less hair than the rest of his head. So we knew that he was just left laying down on his back for most parts of the 12 months that he was in the orphanage. I saw within the orphanage where the cribs are, I saw that the bottles for the babies, they were tied from one end of the crib to another, and the babies would just go and feed themselves. That was the first year of my son's life. He did not have someone to hold him and to care for him like most children should.
Faye, Gareth, I want to give you guys just a moment to breathe. I'm going to come back to you in a moment. I want to bring Ben and Devin into this